right, in this video, we're going to look at the lab for emission spectra and flame tests. So let's go through what will be required to complete this virtual lab. The lab starts with some background information related to how these emission spectra are generated and what is happening with electrons to generate light at a specific color. Okay. The objective for the lab will be to observe the line spectra or emission spectra for various elements, use a flame test to observe the color produced when metal ions are heated, and then identify unknown metal ions based on the results of the flame tests. So part one, the procedure for part one is here. The data table for part one is here, okay? So what part one asks you to do is use any search engine you want. I'm using Google to search for and observe the line emission spectra for each of the following elements: mercury, hydrogen, neon, sodium, and helium. So I've searched for the line emission spectrum of mercury here, and I have the information in two ways. The first thing that came up for me in this Google search is what the wavelengths are and what colors are the prominent lines in the mercury emission spectrum. So I have a line at purple, a line at blue, a line at blue-green, a line at green-yellow, yellow, orange, and red. So if I wanted to, I could come down here and just draw the lines, right? So there's one at red, there's one at orange, there's one at yellow, there's one at green-yellow, so I might put that one in the middle, one at blue-green, so I might put that in the middle here, one at blue, and one at purple or violet, okay? The other way I could do it is I could find an image. So you can see an image here, red, yellow, there's a blue-green one that we talked about, okay? So you can also see them visually if you want to look at them visually and then draw the line spectra observed here. So where each of the lines are that you might see. So you need to do that for each of these elements: hydrogen, neon, sodium, and helium, okay? In part two of the lab, we're going to use the same search engine to observe flame test data. So now instead of emission spectra, we're going to look at flame tests for various metal ions. And we need to find the flame tests for each of the following: sodium, calcium, barium, rubidium, potassium, and lithium. So I can just search for flame tests. Let's just pick one, potassium. All right, so you can see here potassium compounds result in a lilac flame, or you could watch a short potassium flame test. There are some videos that are, a minute or so in length that would also show you. You can see here's one, 12 seconds. Potassium flame test is violet, and you can see, if you watch the video, you see the violet flame. What you need to do is record that color in data table 2 for each of these metal ions. Okay, then in part 3, you are given 3 unknowns, 1, 2, and 3, with flames of a given color. What you need to do is, based on these results of known metal ions, for each of the unknowns, write the flame color, right? So you're going to write each of these colors, and then use this table to determine, based on the color, what the identity of the unknown metal is. Okay, so that's all of the data gathering you'll do for the lab. And then there are just a few conclusion questions based on the background information and the data that you collected to complete the lab.